Hey everyone, welcome to Pop XP. And before the show starts, make sure to click that subscribe button and click the bell to get notifications when we go live and we upload awesome new content. And don't forget, if you can, make sure to share our stream on all your social media outlets. We appreciate it, and thanks for helping us grow the Pop XP channel.
I was not expecting that.
Hey everybody, Billy and
Deb.
Tucci, and welcome to the Brofessionals. And no, this is not the bros and their hoes. This is the bros and their better halves.
I have to leave already.
Yeah, well, I'm not. One of the ladies said, "I'm just glad you didn't call it that." But we figured we'd have fun today on today's show. To introduce the brains behind the operation, our better halves, the ones who
the hostages behind the situation.
The hostages. What, you didn't pick comics? This is not your dream to run a
absorbed
comic book
into
company?
this.
Debbie grew up a huge comic book fan. Is Jack Kirby your favorite? Who's your favorite comic creator?
You.
Oh, no, thank you. But aside from me.
I don't know. The only comic I ever really read before or while we were doing this was Frank Miller's Sparta.
No, yeah. Did you like that?
Loved it.
Yeah. Okay. So you don't have no favorite comic creator?
Just you.
All right, just me. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let's thank you. Love you. Thank you. All right. So we're glad you guys joined us here. We're going to have a lot of fun today. We'll have the ladies on for maybe a half hour or so, and then we'll get back to our usual tomfoolery and gossip and just talking about the industry and our projects and highlighting it and talk about St. Patrick's Day, which is in 1 week's time. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I'd like to introduce the first couple of comics, the one, the only, Mr. Andy and Helen Smith.
Well, hello.
Hello.
What is up?
Guys?
Billy's my favorite comic creator too, Deb. Look at that. We have something in common.
I thought you'd say like George Perez.
I love George, but I love George as a person. I never read any of his stuff.
Yeah. No.
Oh, not good to say here, but it's the truth.
All right. So next we're going to why don't we bring in the man, the myth, the legend, the one who refers whenever he talks to his wife, he always leads off with woman, blah, blah, blah. The toughest guy in comics, the tallest man, the tallest of the bros, soon to be oldest bro in non-Highlander time if he wasn't immortal. Yeah. Art Thibert is like 1,000 years old, but we'll get back to that. But we're not talking about it right now. Ladies and gentlemen, the Wraith of God himself and the beautiful, beautiful Shelley Lopresti. What's up, guys?
Hey, you're a big fibber today. I'm channeling Aaron. I got the hat. I got the husker gear.
The bro twins. Look at the
Shelley, that is bitching.
Mm-hmm.
So do you wear a razor blade in it like your husband does and cuts people at comic conventions?
I don't know where you've heard that from.
We could tell you, but you'd have to spend with these Italian Lopresti.
Blind him.
Yeah. All right. And next we're going to have someone who I've never met before. Mr. Art Thibert and his beautiful wife, Pamela, but we've never met Pamela.
No,
so we're very excited to bring her on and have the world meet Pamela, who totally married her husband for his money. And not just his looks or his hairline.
He has hair.
But, ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only.
So mean?
That's what we do.
Art
Art and Pamela Thibert. What's up?
Hello.
How are you guys?
Good to
What's
see
up,
you.
Art?
They are in Texas now. They moved from California, so I want to hear all about that.
Oh, did you hear Pamela?
Married him for his mullet.
Yeah, Pamela says she married me not for my money, but for my mullet. And just for the record,
mullet too, Pamela.
oh hell, wait a minute. Did Deborah say she had a mullet?
I know. Well,
Kind of.
probably.
We called them bi-levels. They weren't mullets. They were bi-levels.
I married a mullet too.
Just know, Deborah, I know less about the comic industry than you do. So
All right then.
So, all right. Well, guys, now
we can have our own separate chat later about other things.
Hell yeah.
We like to call these two the bald and the beautiful that are coming on next. It's a two-fisted, manly couple. That didn't come out right, did it? Beauty and the Beast. Let's do that. It's a two-fisted manly.
No, don't say two-fisted.
Two-fisted manly man and a beautiful German lass, not unlike yourself. Ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only, Graham and Julia Nolen.
Hey guys.
Oh, look at
Two-fisted.
Really adorable.
Right.
No.
and of
He's got
course,
a horrible right hook. Always got to keep the left up.
Yeah, we're gonna get lessons. We know that, Julie, that you are German.
Yes.
That you married an Irishman. We're gonna have to learn how does that work out. And because you're both angry people, Germans and Irish.
Are they any less
Well,
angry
we both
than
drink
the
a lot,
German and
so
the
it-
Italians?
Hey, we've traveled together.
Yes.
Yeah. We
All
know.
right, so while we're at it, we're going to have the baby of the bunch. We're going to introduce him, handsome man, Portuguese, but we're still waiting.
No, she just sat down.
Oh, she did. Oh, good. Let's let her get herself situated and sit down. Oh, this is exciting. Another person we're going to meet for the first time. Well, geez, let's just do it. Why not, ladies and gentlemen? Fragaboom and Mrs. Fragaboom, Dan and Briana. What's his last name?
Boom.
Fragaboom.
Just boom for sure.
Just boom. Yeah.
Yeah, she hasn't met. I mean, I don't know if she's met any of you guys in person.
Yeah.
No.
No, we've
Well,
never.
Lucky girl.
Hello, Mrs. Boom.
Andy and Helen, Aaron and Shelley, Julia and Graham, Art and Pam, and they used to live down the street from you in Yorba Belinda.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we lived in
Oh, you
Corona, right off the 91.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, we were right there off of 91 right before
So
the
you
last
guys
exit.
left the Golden State, the paradise, the jewel of the United States of America, California.
I
Red
mean, the
State.
cesspool? That's
I
nice.
was right.
Mexico's feather.
Out right in time.
That was funny.
Dan. Well, ladies, I'm glad you're here. We all know that you not only married us for our looks, but you also married all of us for our money. And
Mhm.
Gold
No.
Diggers. This is the Gold Diggers episode.
Yeah. Money comes and goes, Billy.
That's the Brofessionals.
Miserable.
But I'd like to get into first how you all met one another, and then, ladies, how did you come about living the dream? Because you've always wanted to live a dream, living married to a cartoonist, married to a comic artist, and throwing yourselves into the comics industry. You were fangirls, groupies, just like Deb was. Big groupie.
We were all hostages.
Oh, yeah.
That's it. The panel's over. We
Nope.
were home.
You're all hostages.
So Andy and Helen, the first couple of comics. How did you guys meet?
Go ahead.
Oh, it was a blind date. It was actually Bart's brother. Bart.
Is that Aaron again?
No, it's Graham.
No,
Bart's
I
sister-in-law.
got some buddies
Yeah.
in Florida trying
Bart's
to.
sister-in-law set us
It's
up.
usually Aaron, though.
Not me.
Mhm.
Not this time.
Yeah, so Bart Sears' sister-in-law set us up on a blind date
Your sister-in-law.
at her house for lunch.
A blind.
Well,
lunch
that
date.
worked out.
Yeah.
Nice.
So
Yep.
Helen, so you're friends with Bart Sears' sister-in-law?
Yeah.
Okay, so what did he say? You got to meet this guy. He makes comic books, or did he not?
I don't know what she
He's a
said.
lawyer.
What did she say?
Be my
With
friend. He's a
Bart?
lawyer.
I have some stories about Bart that I just I'll just
Oh,
keep
girl.
to myself. Yeah.
She had some comics she needed to be signed.
The first time I went to a comic convention, I had no idea. I've never read a comic. So I'm sitting there and they're sitting at the table and all these people are coming up saying, oh, and I'm like, people actually know who you are. It was interesting. So
You're like, I married a celebrity.
Yeah.
She doesn't understand people wanting signatures and stuff at all. So
Well, so you did marry him for his money and fame.
yeah.
Oh, I just have to say that if I'm like moving around like crazy and stuff, I have a dog right here that I'm trying to keep under control.
Good luck.
So I'm not having like a stroke or anything.
Now we know who the dog really likes.
What kind of stroke you talking about, Art?
You never have to deal with that dog when you're up here.
Why, Dan? You always have to go there.
Well, you're off. You're like this. I'm not having a stroke.
Oh,
If I
that was the
doing
best
something,
look.
Dan, you'd know it.
It's like it's the all ladies show. Let's go.
So Helen, what year was that you guys met?
94.
Oh,
You're surprised I remember
You had to
that,
think
huh?
about it, Andy. You're in so much trouble.
Ask her the day of our first date. Let's see if she knows that one.
July 1st.
Damn it, she does. You got that right. Ask her where we went. I bet she doesn't know that one.
A restaurant.
You don't know the name.
Spaghetti Warehouse.
Yes. We lived in Syracuse. Went to the
Andy
Spaghetti
and
Warehouse.
Helen are those couples that they know there's going to be games at the party and they rehearse and they make sure they get all the answers correct before they go.
If there was going to be a game, my sleeves would roll up because I'm competitive.
that's funny. I remember when right after college we were playing in one of our friends' apartments. What's that game? Pictionary, right? It's Pictionary.
Oh,
And it was me.
I won't.
So it was me and my buddies. And we were artists, my buddy Mark Sasso and I, right? And we had our girlfriends at the time,
There were
and
more people there, not just the four of us.
right, but it was
We were in Lori's apartment.
okay, yeah. And
Chris was probably there too.
okay, and so the thing is when you draw, we're teammates, right? So Debbie's drawing against Mark, right? And Debbie's trying to draw the thing on the whatever you guys ever play Pictionary, you draw on the board.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Is the board you drawing?
No, we each had our own little piece of paper, which
Oh.
is what made it horrible.
Oh, okay. Because Debbie's trying to like draw, I don't know, a guy surfing.
Doesn't matter. I was trying to draw the hint, and I'm drawing it with him in mind, but yet he's
I'm
not
like
even
this.
looking at mine. He's looking at Mark Sasso
Yeah,
because
who's
he
an
knows
art-
Mark's a better artist. So he's looking at Mark's and guessing off of Mark's, and we're winning.
And then she's like,
because he's not even paying attention to what I'm drawing. And I didn't even know what was going on until like after the game was over.
Yeah, and Mark's wife, who his girlfriend at the time, who he married, she couldn't get it. He's a great artist. He does all album covers for all
Probably
the.
should have
yeah.
my clue.
Yeah, yeah. So
Well, the
she's
hardest
like,
thing is like
and she
I always
hits me
used to
in
get
front of
picked
all
for
of us,
those Pictionaries. They've got like let's get the artist to do it.
Yeah.
I'm so literal, and they never get it because I'm still trying.
Same
to
here.
Yeah, you're rendering.
Same here. I can't do. I'm not good at that game. People are like, "Oh, you must be great at it." I'm like, "No," because
No, I
if it's like a
suck.
lamp. My mind goes, "What's a lamp? Is it wood? Is it metal? Does it have a lampshade? Is it old lamp? How am I drawing?"
I'm yelling at him,
Exactly.
just draw a stick figure. And he's like, I can't draw a stick. And I'm like, yeah. Slow.
That sounds
Oh.
just like
You
Aaron.
need is a New Yorker cartoonist on your team.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
well, you know, I have a friend of mine asked me to draw. He's friends with one of the New York Rangers who retired or something, and he asked me just to draw a polar bear for him. Just draw it, and it's for free. I want to give it to him for his birthday, and I'm like, I'm spent 2 days on it. Right? Well, you know, with a hockey, he's like, "Oh, give him a hockey helmet, give him a hockey stick, a
He
polar
wanted
bear."
a cartoon, and he
Yeah,
gave him a real polar bear.
How the hell you draw just, you know, with a damn hockey stick? I can't do that.
Yep.
And then it was late, you know, when I could have probably just because you can't do stuff like that.
He
Right.
wanted
It's a
cartoon,
curse.
and you gave him a portrait.
It's a curse.
Right.
It's a curse, right?
Wait a minute. What happened to
Where's Bossy Boots?
Bossy Boots?
Bossy Boots had to go let the bossier boots out to do her poop.
Oh. All right. Well, autistic Aaron
the bells.
and sorry, it's my accent. I did say artistic. I didn't say autistic. I'm Long Island. I have an
Oh, is
accent.
that what it is?
But no, Aaron and Shelley, how did you guys meet? And you know, tell us that story. And you know,
Well, we weren't selling newspapers on the street corner as
No,
we look now, but no,
I had too much hair to wear a hat like this back then.
I do now.
Wouldn't fit underneath there.
No, we met at church actually. So he saw me and my two girlfriends walk in and thought maybe one of them is single. And I just happened to be the only one single. So he went to church to pick up chicks.
That's not no.
Good
I was
work,
going
buddy.
anyway.
Yes.
It was
You know they're good
It was
girls.
a huge benefit of going.
church. And so that's why I always say it was no coincidence, no accident. But yeah, so he would sit by us and he sang, he sings really well. So I decided I would not sing out loud, because I don't sing well. And I thought, well, no, I'm not going to embarrass myself. So I met him like in October and I wouldn't talk to him again until December. Because I was like, oh, no.
And the first time she talks to me, I missed church the week before. And so she comes in and says, hey, geez, were you heathen? Where were you last week? Oh, my grandmother died. I was at her funeral. And she's like,
well, I'm an ass, aren't I? Awesome.
But I forgave her. And
that was a good excuse, Aaron.
It was actually
It was.
true.
I was like, oh.
So, but tell them what you first thought of me when I told you what I did for a living, which was an artist in drawing comics.
Well, so yeah, you got to have that conversation. So what do you do? And I'm like,
you have to have the conversation.
I'm
at some
a teacher. He. And so he goes, oh yeah, I draw comic books. And in my head, I said, what are you, 12? Luckily I didn't, because sometimes I have a problem where I don't have a filter that stops things from coming out of my face.
Did
and
I
so
say that out loud?
yeah, so I was really glad I didn't say it out loud. But in my head, I was like, oh great, what are you, 12? And in my head, I'm thinking, okay, well, I taught middle school at the time, so I thought I hang out with 12-year-olds all day long. Why not?
But what I did was I took her to this on our first date.
So smart.
I took her to this.
Or what was it called?
It's French. It was the Brasserie Montemol or something like that. What was it?
Ooh, well done.
Yeah.
Right.
And so we went in there and they had like the tablecloths were basically butcher paper. And they had crayons, right? So you could draw on the butcher paper while you were.
So to prove her point, you were drawing in Crayola.
Yeah, you are 12.
Yeah, but I went next level and I drew a portrait of her.
Nailed it
on the table, and by then it was a done deal.
Well, and then nothing like on your first date where he's like studying like really close at your nose, and you're like, I hope I don't have anything hanging out of my nose or anything, nothing like being self-conscious or anything. But yeah.
Oh my God!
Amazing.
Wow. Hang on.
That's awesome.
Man, you did your hair that day too,
dude.
Yeah, I got big old hair.
She had big.
Wait a minute, you did that on the table? Paper table.
Yep.
Wow, Aaron.
Crayolas, baby.
Yeah. I took it to school the next day and I showed it, and the kids started clapping. It was really funny. So.
That's not crayons. It's crayons.
Yeah, crayons and butcher paper.
You did that at the restaurant?
Yeah.
Did you ask him for an airbrush? I mean, geez.
Shading and everything, like
really amazing.
The thing is, Aaron didn't have any food. He was just drawing all night.
Yeah.
Did you feel pressure, Aaron? You're like, this one is for all the marbles. Like this is the one.
Oddly enough, I didn't, because it was actually my idea to draw her, because I was using it as a tool to reel her in. And but for some reason I didn't, because I figured, you've got a built-in excuse, right? If it kind of looks like her, as long as you make it a pretty face, you're good, right? Because I'm like drawing with crayons and everything. It's like,
and I had a ton of hair. It was big.
But Shelley has actually like a really good jawline and stuff, so it's easy, and small round nose. So she actually has really favorable features to
pretty
to get in there.
Boy, Aaron, you sealed the deal years ago. You can stop.
You're sucking up.
Well, that's right.
That's right.
I don't have to keep. Yeah.
Now she's just all right.
Yeah,
Hey, Aaron, now I know where James Cameron got the idea for Leonardo to draw Kate. What's her face? And
it worked. I was like,
go on.
Oh my gosh, because I
did draw you like one of his French
I have
girls.
no ability to draw.
Yeah, the funny thing is she would never, and I'm not talking like nude or anything. I'm just saying, like, if I needed like a.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I love that picture.
Look at Aaron's hair.
Look how cute.
Yeah.
That's a lot of
all
hair.
that hair.
Yeah.
And I'm talking
That
about
was
Aaron.
some hairs in my Pretty Woman dress.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I thought I was all that. That is so
Love
funny.
that. I just love these pictures.
But she would never pose for me. Like I say, I would be like, okay, I've got this. You do one Turok piece. I got you to pose for me, and then she would never do it again.
I didn't want pictures. Yeah, I don't know.
So,
but my identical twin would pose, so it really didn't serve any purpose.
Yeah, she was around.
It was so dumb.
Get out the old Polaroid, get a quick shot and
no.
use it for reference. But
the best part of that first date is somebody forgot to stop and get money.
No.
So somebody else had to pay for it.
No, wait a
They
minute.
paid me back.
Out of it.
Hang on a second.
Then
Wait a
you're
minute.
You did get
Oh,
a
And
headshot.
I'm paying.
All right.
I should have known.
She also during dinner, she's telling me about this guy that she dated, who I went to high school with, who I could not stand. So I was already pissed. And then I'm like going to pay for it, and I forgot the money because I was going to stop at the bank machine. But after we left, I did stop at a bank machine and gave her money back immediately. So, but yeah, I was kind of embarrassing.
It was so funny though.
You,
and I'm like,
you didn't give her enough for the tip. You just gave her enough for the bill.
Right.
And you're like, you
Heck,
paid
I don't tip. I'm cheap, man. She's like, "Where's my money?" I go, "Here's the money for the dinner." And the tip, I'm like, "Oh, that's on you. If you're feeling gracious, that's on you, man, not me."
I don't remember.
You went to church and pick up some chicks. Nice.
Oh, too funny. No, but yeah, I kept thinking, I'm not the one he's taking home to mama. I'm not going to talk. My friends are like, if you don't talk to him today, I'm never talking to you again. So I finally turned around and said, hi. And then that was the last day he was going to sit by us because he figured
he wouldn't talk to me.
It's been 2 months and she won't talk to me.
Said,
I'm out of
done
here.
with this chick. And then she finally turned around. And so,
anyway.
So the elevator pitch here is Aaron goes to church to pick up chicks, seals the deal with crayons.
Yeah.
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 30 years later, here we are.
Hey, that's a Hallmark movie.
It is. And you'd watch it.
You know, the funny thing is,
Princess?
I went to film school with the lady who's now producing those Hallmark films. So maybe I should use some connections, and maybe I can get that on the Hallmark channel.
Hey, Shelley, since you mentioned that you had a twin, did you ever play gags on Aaron?
Oh, no.
No, I could see them. You know, they like have posture and stuff that's the same from a distance, but up close, you can tell them apart real easy.
He thinks. We've only had one time a boyfriend got confused.
Not me. It was before me.
And then we switched classes once in grade school, which was a nightmare for me because I don't know, they had this class auction and my sister was much more outgoing than I was. I was really shy back then. And I just remember going, she didn't warn me and I have to like I had no idea what I was doing. And that's when they figured out that we had switched classes. But I have to remind like people like they don't get like if she's out doing her thing, I have to remind her that people don't know that's not me later. Right? So she's out doing and being naughty.
Candy bar.
There. And then I have to go. We went to a Cool and Again concert and I had to pull her aside and go, I have parent conferences next week and I have parents of students here. So please do not go up on stage. Please do not. Right. Because you can imagine like, oh, you look familiar. Oh, she was that. And I'd be like, no, it's my evil twin. Like, and they'd be like, right.
Put your back up off the wall.
So what did your parents think, Shelley, when you brought them the drawing home? When you brought the drawing home?
Come here. What are you looking at me for? I didn't live
I'm trying to remember. Because I remember I took it to school the next day. The kids were like, oh, and I go, I didn't do it, but thanks. I'm sure they were impressed, but because they know like I have zero artistic talent.
Well, her parents love me. In fact, they were very happy that she was actually dating a decent guy. I don't know what she went on before I came into the picture, but apparently there's some questionable
some frogs.
Yeah.
No
questionable guys involved before me.
In fact, well, how long was it before we got engaged?
What was it?
Was
4
it
3 months? I was going to say 3.
Yeah, 4 months.
Oh, you got us beat.
And knows what he wants and how to take it.
Well, we were also, I was 28, man. The clock was ticking. I had to get moving, you know?
Yeah. And so my mom, I guess, asked my dad, like, how do you feel about, are you okay? And sorry, a little potty mouth, but he said, well, at least she's not marrying one of those assholes she kept bringing home.
Oh, shit.
High praise from my father. Yeah. But he kept saying, I just, he very unlike my dad, but because he's not like me at all, and I'm just so glad you married him. So I was like, okay, Dad, yeah. So, but no, they were happy. I don't know how.
Now I know why Aaron has a shirt that says, "I'm not one of those assholes."
And then on the back that she kept bringing home, yeah,
names crossed off of those.
Oh,
yeah.
And you got us beat because we got engaged 8 months after.
Yeah, we didn't mess around. It was 4 months, and then we got married 6 months later, and had Joshua 9 months and 1 day later.
Wow.
We got you all beat. We were engaged 3 months,
And married.
And married in 6.
What?
Wow,
Nice.
look at this.
All right. Well,
always
Art
a
and Pamela,
competition
we're
with
gonna
Graham.
jump over you. We got to hear this one. How did you, Julie? How did you meet this bald bastard? Who wasn't a bald bastard at the time?
No. Just a bastard.
Yeah, he had hair. He was just about
Nice.
So I was in Florida visiting my sister, and he was in Florida visiting his sister. We met at a bar, a nightclub, and I was dancing with a friend of his who walked me back to my table and said, "You got to meet a friend of mine. I think you two would really hit it off." And he said, "Oh, there he is now. Graham, come on over." And I turned and I looked at him and I thought, I'm done. This is the guy.
Really? That's the tie he has on, because he told us about the tie.
Yeah, the Three Stooges tie.
Yeah, he had a Three Stooges tie. And, you know.
Hey, Graham, come over here.
I was young.
And after having traveled with you guys are so much fun, and you can tell you guys, oh my gosh, we just laughed constantly.
Yeah, we did.
We had a great time.
Yeah, we had a great time. Yeah. So 37 years later, it worked, and everybody at the church was counting fingers and thinking, I was pregnant, but we didn't have a child for 6 years, so.
We had to get to know each other.
We had to get to know each other, yeah. Everybody else into the party.
Yeah.
Now, wait a minute. So you thought she was pregnant? So this is a shotgun wedding?
No,
everybody
thought.
Oh.
Well, you didn't meet her in a church like you did, buddy. You met her at home.
Right.
I was
right, 'cause I'm such an angel.
No. So,
Just
but we long
teasing.
distance dated because I lived here in Buffalo and Graham was in New Jersey. And so we flew People's Express to date. We probably saw each other maybe
10
three
times?
or 4 times before we got engaged, and then
Wow.
6 times. But
Graham, were you still in school?
Pardon me?
Graham, were you still in school at the time?
No.
Oh, okay.
I was working at an ad agency in Jersey there. So we were living in Hackettstown.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. And then once my career started going, I started getting more freelance jobs and stuff. And we figured we'd get out of Jersey because it was so expensive. So we moved up here.
So so Julie knows you had your Three Stooges tie on. What was Julie wearing, Graham?
What was she wearing?
Yeah.
Brown eyes. No, she was wearing those. Yeah, actually, I think she had like a pant outfit, right?
Yeah.
Like a maroon and gray pant outfit, right? Wasn't it the same one you were wearing when I came? No, it wasn't that one.
No.
Oh,
So funny.
then I don't
remembers everything.
I'm going with brown eyes.
Yeah, and that's a few things I don't remember.
Brown-eyed girl.
So when you decided to leave the ad agency and do comics, Julia, what was your thought? What are you, 12?
Yeah.
Well, he looked like he was 12. I've seen the pictures.
When he told me what he wanted to do or what he was doing, but he was working at the ad agency, but what he really wants to do, I was like, oh, people actually make those? I was thinking it was like manufactured someplace in a, I don't know.
A machine.
A machine. And they are machines. I mean, but, you know, so I had no idea all the layers involved in the business, and which was fascinating to me. So then, yeah, when we got married and we were extremely poor, but he, you know, we decided it was a leap of faith, and we both felt it was the right time. And, you know, we were young, we had no children. Who were we going to affect? Us. So it wasn't, you know, it was a leap of faith, but it worked out.
Yeah.
It worked out really well.
I'd say so for sure. Now, what about Art and Pamela? What about you guys?
I just want to say real quick to Brassy Boots, when you are working for Marvel and DC, you do feel like a machine. So you weren't too far off. base for that.
Absolutely.
A trash compactor.
Tell me about it.
Go ahead.
Well, we met at a party. I was doing a class, makeup for movies, that sort of thing. And a friend that was in the class said, my sister's having a party. Let's go. And she was ready to throw me out of the car because I hate parties. I'm shy and I'm just not good at parties. And so I bitched and moaned, and she was like, I'm going to set you out. And I was like, okay, that works for me. And then he walked in, and
the party was right above my apartment. I lived in Hermosa Beach, right? And so the apartment was right upstairs. So it was jumping. So I just thought I'd invite myself over.
Did you know the people who had the party?
What's that?
Were you friends with the people that had the party?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
There was kind of a mutual sisters or something,
Yes,
right?
yeah.
So I knew the sister that lived in the apartment above, and Pamela knew the sister
that was taking the class.
Dragged her over to the party.
And that's how we met. And then we just started hanging out. And I'm with Shelley the first time I ever went to a con. It was like, oh,
it's weird.
Strange. You know, I was standing in this group, and I was the only female. And all of a sudden, all these guys, him included, but they all started going like this. And I'm like, what are they looking at? And so I looked, and there's this very beautiful body of this girl walking away. And she had a jacket on that went to the waist, but then it looked like she was naked from the waist down. And she was wearing a thong bikini with this like motorcycle jacket. And every guy in this con was just the drool. I had to stand on a chair to get out of it.
Remember the Conan pig people?
Yes, and there were two people dressed in full a costume, beautifully.
They looked
done.
like they were Hollywood built.
Yes.
You know, they were really good.
But they were Conan and Red Sonja pig people. And I'm looking at these going, how much do I like this guy? You know, it worked out, and he was funny. He made me laugh. And, you know, now I tell him to straighten up because I've heard your jokes for 30 years.
See, that's I try to reinvent myself. It just ain't working, man. The one thing is like after, at the party, right? So we're neither one of us are big party people. So we're just like, let's take off. So we were obviously, you know, kind of connecting. And so we just walked the Strand, and it was a beautiful night. And we just started talking. So just stuff started coming to, you know, mind, like Super Freak by Rick James. And we were singing Super Freak. And then, you know, the Three Stooges came up. And so she was like, yeah, Three Stooges
I love
are
the
cool.
Three Stooges.
And then he was like, what do you do?
Dam's a keeper.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. And then it was kind of like, you know, what do you do for a living? And I had friends that did all kinds of cool stuff for a living. And they always told me, like, when we'd go out to bars or whatever, they never, ever tell anybody what you do for a living. It's not cool. They say it's not cool. And so, you know, I was like, yeah, I'm just going to be truthful. So she said, what do you do? And I said, I'm working on Adventures of Superman. She goes, Superman? She goes, I love the Fantastic Four as well. Like, I've always loved comic books. And so then she started talking about her favorite Superman comic, right? And then what?
He actually had it for me because it was a what if story. And it's where Lex Luthor kills Superman. And I had it as a little kid, and I cried and cried for days. And they introduced Supergirl. She comes bursting through a wall, and you think it's Superman, but then she rips off the costume, and it's Supergirl.
And there's boots.
Well, my mother got so sick of me crying over because I thought he died, and she threw away my comic. And so he tracked one down. He called Mike Carlin. He said, "Have you ever heard this story?" And Mike's like,
Mike's like, well, we've killed Superman like a billion times. Like,
exactly.
And so Pamela had actually described a little bit of the cover. It was a pink cover, and you described kind of how it looked.
he was
and
laying on the slab.
Yeah, Mike is just like he knows everything there is to know about Superman. And so I told him, he goes, well, it's probably Superman, whatever issue number. So then I found it, and I got it for you.
Yeah. So a 10-cent comic cost him $8, and it was mangled up, but I've still got it.
Yeah.
Jeez, Art, you couldn't find one in mint condition?
Oh.
Hey, come on. This is the most romantic comic book story you guys have probably ever heard.
Yeah, it is.
Come on.
It would be better if the book was a higher quality. That's all.
This is how you know we're the nerds.
The book would be
If
slapped.
I was hosting this show, I would boot you. You guys would be gone.
We're giving you great advice for your next anniversary gift. Find one that's a 9.8 slab. Oh my God.
Okay.
That's like torture. Then she can't read it. She's like, ah.
No, she has to beat up one.
I can't.
Well, she's got the reader's copy, so
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
But that's how we met, and had a lot of fun. He'd walk in the rain with me because I'm a rain girl. I like to walk in rain.
And it didn't rain often in California, but when it did, we were out there.
We were out there.
Come on up
hand.
here. We're good.
That's why they like to walk in it. It didn't happen often.
Exactly.
Yeah, you live up where Aaron and Shelley live. They're like, it's fucking raining
We walk
again.
every day.
Up in Oregon.
About 10 months of the year.
It rains a lot in Georgia too.
Yes, but I think it's more efficient, isn't it? Like it comes down in like an hour.
Yes.
Ours is just
Yeah.
a little
And
bit.
then the sun comes out. Yeah. The sun never comes out where you're at. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not a lot.
Our rain is frozen.
Yeah.
You're doing this. Ow, ow, ow.
Sometimes we get 2-3 feet of rain.
It's all solid white.
So, Briana, what about you guys? You and Dan, what about you guys?
You can tell.
How did you meet?
I mean, I know the story from my perspective, but I don't know the story from her
Well,
perspective.
it's not like
You never talked?
Yeah. Oh no, we've told the story many times.
I could tell. We could go back and forth like Rashomon style. I had gone to go get a coffee at this place called Fox and Bean, and it was up in Anaheim Hills. You guys know where it is. And I got my coffee, and I was walking to my Jeep, and there was something in my mind, like a compass that had a magnet, turn it, that said, turn around. Like the guy in Predator, turn around. And I see the most lovely creature I've ever seen in my whole life coming out of the bookstore and walking towards where I had just purchased a coffee. And I thought, well, shit, I already have a coffee. I'm going to put it next to my tire and sort of nonchalantly do that fast walk. It's not like quite running.
Yeah.
And open the
Is
door
that how
for
you
her.
do it? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. You saw that coming towards her and was like, oh,
Yeah. Yeah, real smooth. Smooth as I could be. This is December 1st, 1995. So
Which was also my mom's birthday.
Yeah.
Oh.
And my grandma's birthday. So it's a
Wow.
very special
And my
day.
birthday.
If this day didn't exist, my kids wouldn't exist. So I opened the door for her because I made it just in time to open the door for her. Carrie, take it away.
Very gentlemanly like, and he stood behind me in line so I was getting coffee obviously, and I don't know how he broke the ice exactly, but in between standing in line and getting our coffee, we wound up going and sitting outside at one of the little tables because this is like classic, like, coffee shop before like Starbucks was super popular to go hang out at. And we sat and talked for like 4 hours, 5 hours.
Wow, dude.
And
Nice, Fragaboom.
You guys win.
Yeah. Oh no. Cause like how you guys like, oh, we got married or engaged after 3 months and all of that. It took him 15 years.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. 5 hours and an interview.
Okay.
It was an interview. And it took 15 years.
Yeah, there was a lot of stuff along the way, but so we talked, and while we were talking, like, you know, he told me he was a comic book artist. I wasn't, you know, fangirl, anything like that. But he was drawing on a piece of paper, and then he would give me the piece of paper, and I'd draw a little doodle, and he'd draw a little doodle, and over the course of the night, we filled up, you know, 8.5 by 11, you know, computer piece of paper, which I still have all our little drawings. I kept it. And when it came time, it was like getting late and they were about to close, and I had to call my mom to come pick me up. It was also obviously, like I said, her birthday. And I was out hanging out at a coffee shop, but she had to come pick me up because I was 15. And he was 22. And so
hence the time it took.
You're forgiven.
Yeah.
So, and my mom came to pick me up, and, you know, he came over and introduced himself right away. And, you know, my mom loved him already, like, completely, and went home, and I was completely enamored and in love. And
Where did we go on our first date?
we went to, the very next morning, I was still asleep. My phone rang. And I pick up the phone, and I'm like still asleep. And he's like, "Where do you want to go for lunch?"
Smooth.
Very smooth. That's And I was like up out of bed and getting dressed. And he came and picked me up in his green Jeep, not a Winnebago.
Yeah.
And we went to the spaghetti factory for our first date.
Hey,
yeah. Spaghetti factory.
Yeah, you went to Spaghetti Warehouse, because when you said that, I was like, they have a warehouse? Because ours was a factory.
Well, you guys
Factory
made
there
it
in
prepared
Fullerton.
to, and then you know we stored it in the warehouse apparently.
I don't remember what your first comic experience was, though. Like, I can't.
For me?
Yeah, like. Yeah.
Well, immediately I had my mom take me to the comic book shop, and I bought all the comics that had your name on them because she told me.
But I mean, like a Comic-Con, like when she went to the studio. I was working at Extreme at the time, so she got to see the studio. But I don't remember like your first show. I don't remember it.
It was I think after we got married.
Okay.
Because you weren't doing shows then. You were storyboarding.
Right. Yeah.
You weren't doing any shows. So we went to like
WonderCon probably.
Yeah, and we went to San Diego, and
right.
You know, just to meet people and stuff. And I was out of my element because I was like following behind him, and every 3 feet everybody had to stop him to talk to him. Like he had to stop and talk to everybody at all the tables and stuff. So
yeah, well, I try to explain to her like conventions for me, especially like when because I left comics in 99, or no, 2003. It was 2000. I left comics in 2003 and didn't start doing them again until 2014 with The Grave. So I had like 11 years hiatus from comics. You know, working as a director and as a storyboard artist. So comic conventions for me were more about like going and seeing my friends. You know, it's like the only time I get to see Billy would be at a show, or you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I would walk around, and it was kind of like, go see so-and-so, go see so-and-so. So that was like the experience for her. I don't think there was the sit behind the table thing, like, you know, signing stuff. But then when I did start doing shows again, we had kids, and it was just a whole different experience, like kids pooping their pants behind the table and, you know, things like that.
Oh, I do that now.
Yeah, right. I know. Fayetteville, I could smell it, Andy.
Yeah, man, that's what the guns are for.
Yeah, we had that
my table as far away from Smith as possible.
Yeah. We would set up
Pamela and I actually we worked together too. So we would co-write, you know, the independent books, so like Black and White and Chrono Mechanics and stuff like that. So you have experience behind the table and doing all that stuff, right?
Yeah, I try to stay away.
I perfected the stay away and show up for dinner.
Yes, it's the shuffle. You know, you start up close, and then you just sort of start shuffling backward, And so other people are right in front of you. It's amazing how that happens.
Yeah, but people got it down. Like Pamela does con sketches, so people would like come out of the woodwork and they'd ask for the con sketch, and they'd always be like some lady with high heels with like a stick figure, right?
That's all I
Every
can
now
do.
and then,
I do
every
a
now and then,
stick
there's a
figure.
bonus. You know, like going to shows like Andy, that show that I saw you in Boston. What was that? 2017.
Yeah,
it had Tim Curry, right?
Mhm.
And she's a huge Tim Curry fan, and like I snuck her under the tent into the green room because we had access, and she had her moment with Tim Curry, which was like, you know,
I was like really trying not to like cry and sit on his lap and stuff, but you know, it's okay because
those are the bonuses.
So Briana,
those are like the little
you met
bonuses.
the sweet transvestite from
I did from transsexual Transylvania. I did. I was just
See,
jumped
to
the
me,
left.
he's the devil in Legend. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that's darkness. You know.
Yeah, we took one picture. We paid for one photo one time, and that was with what's his name? Adrian Paul from Highlander, because we loved that show. And we're like, we gotta get a picture with this guy. So we waited online and everything. And took a picture.
How'd you guys meet? How did you guys meet,
What's
Billy?
the Tucci story?
They already did that.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, no,
No?
we met at college. And we found out that we grew up near each other, and that I put your boyfriend at in the hospital. In the hospital.
How? Did you poison him? What'd you do?
It's pretty much Goodfellas, is what you're saying.
Jacked him up.
I dated this hockey player and
It's your shine box, Billy.
I dated a hockey player in high school, and we met in college and started hanging out. And one day we were just sitting in his dorm room at a.
It's like the first day we met.
It wasn't the first day.
Yes, it was.
And it's on.
You remember everything
So
better than me.
we're sitting at his kitchen table across from one another, and we, both Long Island, so we're going back and forth with what we've done and what we haven't done. And
Yeah, we went to
he
City at FIT, the Fashion Institute of Technology in Manhattan.
So he asked me where I went to high school, and I said Sachem, and he said, Sage, we played those guys in hockey. You guys had this really great guy, and I checked him and screwed up his knee and sent him to the hospital.
No. You said, do you know Ronnie Baker? And I said, yes.
You're right.
And I said, oh, number 6? Yeah, I know Ronnie Baker. And I said, I fucked him up. And she goes,
that was you.
That was you.
That was your smooth move, right?
That was it. And I had her violence. She liked the violence.
Oh my gosh, it's funny.
Violence.
It was the
Meeting
hair.
at church, opening doors. I fucked him up.
I don't know what would have been better. Do you know Ronnie Baker or Billy's like that pussy? Yeah, I know him.
That was the first time we actually met and hung out, but was it a year before or 2 years before?
A year before.
A year
Yeah,
before,
so
I
that's
was
second year.
carrying a box on an elevator, and he got on the elevator and said, "Oh, let me carry that
She
for
was
you."
gorgeous.
Oh, I thought he was like, hey, can I
Nothing.
put some of my stuff in there?
Yeah, see, that's what you said. I should have done. Wow, I can't find my wallet. I think I left it in your box.
So he grabbed the box, didn't say anything, turned around, holding the box. Get to the ground floor. He turns over his shoulders, says, "Where is this going?" And I pointed to the person I was bringing it to, who happened to be my aunt. And he dropped it at her feet and walked away and didn't say anything to me for another year.
What? He's that kind of guy.
Billy playing the long.
He drops major bombs and leaves.
No, she was gorgeous, but you saw me too, so you liked me too, right? Yeah. So we liked each other, but
We liked each other from afar, but I was engaged at the time.
Yeah.
The elevator box thing, I was engaged to somebody else.
Sorry.
Oh, with that
I know.
today?
I did
What's
it.
your
I
deal
don't
with
know.
that today?
I don't know.
Did you mess him up too, Billy? Did you take care of
Yeah.
that too?
How's his knees, Billy?
His knees are fine.
Yeah. So so that's that. But all right, so let's lead into this now. Well, you want to tell your first convention, and then we'll move so we don't keep these ladies way too long, because I mean, this is fun, but we don't want to keep. I don't want to keep you guys way too
Yeah,
long.
we got to
but
put the other kids.
do you
to
remember
bed.
your first con, the Phil Suling con in the city?
The Javits one.
No. The first convention we went to was at the Penta Hotel.
No, my first convention was
Yeah.
at the,
When you left the
Oh,
convention.
that was the Penta.
Yeah, it was the Penta Hotel.
Oh, I
You're
thought
the
it was at
only.
the Javits.
You're the
Oh,
only.
you told this story, Billy. The clicking of heels.
Yes, you
Like,
had your heels and you had your Stonewashed little outfit, and you were the only girl there. And it was, if you guys ever went to those conventions in New York City at the Penta Hotel, the old Phil Sewell, it was just jam-packed. And it was not the most hygienically pure.
When we left that day, I said somebody needs to rent a booth at the front of the convention center and have a trough and a bar of soap.
Because she's just like, ew. At one point, she went like, ew, I gotta go. I gotta go out of here. I gotta get fresh air. But another thing now, aside from, like Dan went into storyboarding for the most part. We grew up, I started off as self-publishing. So Debbie and I from...
No, you started out making baby clothes in Macy's.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, right. No, but I meant when I got into comics.
Yes.
So Debbie was always at the booth running the booth. And we'd have fun. Like San Diego, our first Comic-Con.
So to just verify.
Can I show the video?
Fine, you can show the video.
All right,
but
can I
not
show
right now? Wait.
Okay.
So I was a business major in college, even though we went to an art school. So I was already in marketing when he decided to do this and had a job. So I would leave my job and then come to his apartment and then do comics or the business side of comics. And then we would argue because my business was different than his business. I was like, what do you mean you have to pay for shipping? That's the customer's job. No, not in comics.
Like she didn't understand that comics is run like no other business in the whole world. You can't have a business model. Oh, who's your core? When you talk to these business people, I get emails from them all the time that they want to help us market our business.
Yeah.
Let me market your business and reach a wider audience. So who's your target audience? And I'm like, everyone. No, not everyone. So who's your you don't understand how this works. And
just little things like contracts. Like contracts, most comic book artists don't know what a contract is because nobody works under a contract. Yeah.
So, but we took it, and you said we can do this. We can do this.
That was after the Javits one. Yeah.
Run the video.
I said we can really make this work.
Yeah, and I played this once before, but if I can share it with you guys, it's our first major comic convention, the San Diego Comic-Con 1994. I know some of you guys might have seen this, but ladies, this is kind of fun. And we got on.
You can all laugh at me.
Yeah, we got on Channel 4 News and on E Network. So let me share this. It's not long at all, and I'll cut it.
Are we gonna get to see Francisca too?
Yeah, we'll see Francisca Polito. So they interviewed Debbie and Francisca Polito, and it's a hoot. So let me share it if I may.
There's some San Diego people there. They may have seen it back then.
Yeah. Maybe some of the people in the audience were there and saw that. So
I just remember you guys had a killer booth, man. That she booth was always amazing.
What's that, Grant? Art? What?
The she booth was always amazing looking. I was always enamored by it.
Well, this is our first year. We had the small booth in Small Press.
Okay.
That's where they had us in an independent pavilion. So
stop the torture. Just get it over with.
Oh, come on. It's funny. Let me know if you guys can hear this, okay?
Yeah, make it full screen.
SD, Denise Yamada, Roland Smith, and Joe Lazaro Weathered. KNSD First News at 4.
Hello, everyone. I'm Margaret Radford in for Denise Yamada. As move over Superman, it no longer takes a male superhero to knock down the enemy. We visited the San Diego Comic Convention today and found that more and more comic heroes have brawn, brains, and breath.
Oh.
The comic convention draws a crowd.
I remember that setup.
Can't wait to get their hands on Superman, Spider-Man, and she. She? Her name means death in Japanese, and she's hot.
Because she's not a bimbo. She has intelligence, she has depth, she does not have the balloon boobs and the overly curvaceous.
And that's the one poster that I did make her like that.
Dispute that, but the fact is, readers love her. And a growing number of fit and mighty don't mess with me powerhouses.
Oh yeah, I like tougher women, I'm not explaining, more independent type women.
The independence of them, because they don't need a man to bring them through everything.
Lady Death certainly doesn't need a man to help her solve problems. In one obvious way, she stands out from the others.
Yeah, very well endowed. Very much so.
We hear everything from does Lady Death's back hurt, and all sorts of other rude things. But once they read the story, they realize that she's very cool and she's more than a breast or two breasts or just one big huge one.
The stories are very well written, and they give them a brain and things that weren't there 20 years ago.
Yeah. Him and his daughter. We still see them. They're still fans, and then it goes on and on for another 2 minutes and all. But
it's funny how the news like focuses on that, like these perfectly endowed women and stuff, and yet they're showing pictures of Superman with his gigantic muscles and the perfect man. You know,
or how about He-Man with just a loincloth?
Yeah,
That's right.
Tight pants.
Tarzan was the guy who started it all.
Yeah.
But I think what was cool is that we had Debbie there, and Francisca Polito were, basically running the booths, so that's who they interviewed.
Well, you guys are still across from each other at the San Diego Con, right?
Yeah.
So, that's a segue. Let's move into that now. Again, aside from Briana and Dan, or as Dan likes to refer when Briana's not around, Bree. I guess you love that.
No, man, I told you that.
He set you up.
You son bitch. No, because he goes, never that. Don't call her that.
Ever.
Briana, we're kidding. Somebody had suggested who had said that, and Dan's like, "No, never."
Fill your hands, you son of a bitch.
I like that Billy says someone suggested it.
Dan's like, now I got to sleep on the couch.
I remember. Let's start with you, Briana. Like, so how do you feel like now Dan is back into comics, and he's back into comics though with his own thing? He's not working for another studio. I know Black Flag was his original thing, but he's not drawing a comic created by another creator. How do you, I know he's busy doing so many things. He has so many things, juggling it all, but how is it delving into watching him, create this comic company with this massive, if I could share it right now, let me share his page, his screen.
With
but hot damn, bro.
Production?
Yeah, you were kicking ass with, where is he? Here you go. Boom.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, for me, it's like, as long as I've known him, he's always, obviously everybody here always draws, but like, it doesn't matter where we are, what he's doing. He's got pen, he's got paper, he's got something, he's doodling on something, he's, sketching something. He's always drawing. So, and back when we first met, like, anytime he would scribble something on a piece of paper, I would keep it. I like stacks and stacks of just all the little sketches he would do. And like, he would draw me little things, and I kept every single thing that he ever drew me. So like him drawing Black Flag now is awesome, because he is drawing what he loves and what he wants to draw, and like for people and stuff. But it's like, for me, it's like, he's always drawing what he wants, anytime, day or night. And just, even like his little, like, I have no artistic.
That's not true.
No, okay.
That's not
I'm
true.
crafty. I'm not like, I can't draw.
She can.
Shit. I
She
can't draw
can.
for shit.
She can.
So no, I can't. So like, his talent to draw things just always blows me away, no matter what.
It's not talent. It's not talent.
It is.
It's the compulsion to always be drawing.
Well, yeah, it is kind of OCD a little bit.
We literally have
Briana,
pen and
I
pad.
agree with you 100%, because I said to Billy a long time ago, especially after we were married and I was watching him all the time, I was like, you really see the world differently than I do. Like, they have a different set of eyes, or their brain works differently, whatever it is, that when they see something, they see the direction that light's coming from, they see shadow, I see, I think Andy talked about a lamp, right? I see a lamp.
Right.
And if somebody asks me to draw a lamp, I'm going to draw a lamp because it's a lamp. But the way Andy sees a lamp is not the way I see a lamp. The way Billy sees a lamp is not. And I totally get what you're saying.
I'm really good at Pictionary, though. That's the big difference.
I was going to say, I bet you are, Dan.
No, it's because as a storyboard artist, when you meet with a director, you have to draw almost as fast as they talk to be able to get ideas approved.
He has to convey the idea
like very fast. I say it's like visual stenography. Like if someone says, you know, medium shot, you know, over the shoulder. I'm like, you know, and there used to be a game called Drawing with Friends. It was made by the people who did Words with Friends. Yeah, and they would give you a word, and then the person you would play would have to guess it. And if they guess it, they get points, and then they send something back to you, which you would have to guess. And I was kicking people's ass.
These little finger sketches, like perfect, like the Mona Lisa and stuff. You know?
Yeah, it was an old iPhone game, and I was doing it all with my fingertip. It was fun.
Oh yeah,
I remember that. I did that.
Hey, Billy, share the screen here. This is the doodle.
Oh, wait a minute.
I
Hang on,
did
Art. Hang
for
on.
Pamela.
You got a little of a glare. There's glare.
Yeah,
Art.
there you go. There you go.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Art, what is this?
This is our daughter. So I did this for a Christmas.
That is
Aw.
gorgeous. Wow.
Adorable.
That's beautiful.
That is gorgeous.
Beautiful.
Holy cow.
See, and that gets you a weekend of not being in trouble.
Get
That's
out
right.
of jail free card. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a get out of jail free for a bit. If you do something, you know, you kind of.
I
And
cried
we'll-
that whole Christmas. Every time I looked at it, I just cry again.
See, when you
Now,
just drew me
now
half naked.
we'll go back around all the way from Graham, and we'll head back up to Andy. With you, Julie, that you saw, you know,
Go get ready for
Graham
bed.
working for DC Comics and
Boy.
doing incredible work, groundbreaking work, co-creating a character that led to a film that made over $1 billion. And then you also see what happens. You also see the seedier side of the industry. You know, you see how the whims of how it goes and trends and fads and things like that. And I think you might share too that you've seen it with me is that, and I think Kirby said it, and I know Darwin Cook said it. And Darwin told me that Marvel and DC will break your heart because you throw everything you have into their characters. And in the end, they are the first ones to remind you, and quite definitively, that they're not your characters. So how is Graham now that he's turned the corner? He's got his campaign going. I'll pop that one up right now. That you know, Graham is self-publishing again now with Compass Comics and all. And you know, what is the changes you've seen with him? And you know. Just how's this experience with you guys with him doing that?
Fantastic. He's the happiest he's ever been. In the 37 years we've been married, as far as his work goes, this is the happiest he has ever been. This is the most fulfilling time of his professional life. And even though working on Batman was a dream for him, and he was able to do it for 6 years. It was soul sucking working for those companies, and it's the difference between night and day since we made the decision to strictly turn our backs to that section of the industry and trying to rely on people who are unreliable. Fortunately, he's a very well-rounded individual, and he's a man of great faith and good sense of humor. So he weathered a lot of really crappy years with a lot of dignity. So I give him a lot of credit for that.
Amen.
Hear, hear.
Some pretty lousy times.
Yeah.
Aw. Don't get me started now.
Well, everyone out there,
Where's my money?
Giant Size Two Fisted Manly Tales has 8 hours left.
Ooh.
So let's get this thing. The funding period will be over in 8 hours. For goodness sakes, let's get this up to $95,000 for one of the best guys in the industry. And an incredible project with you've really wrangled an amazing stable of creators, my friend.
Yes. You know, a lot of people ask me, how'd you get all these guys? Well, I asked.
That's awesome.
That's simple as that, you know, I gave them the pitch, and there's a lot of people that are sick of the way comics are being done and the types of jobs they're being offered, if they're being offered jobs. And this was an opportunity to do something fun and do the kind of style and storytelling that made us fall in love with comics back in the day. Just action, adventure. And in this case, I was making a statement too, because I just felt that masculinity in men had been denigrated over the last 10 or 20 years in the media constantly, that we're the butt of jokes, we're made fun of, or we're troglodytes and Neanderthals, and we're not seen as protectors and providers and husbands and fathers. And I wanted to tell stories of men, sometimes having to step up the plate, regardless of personal outcome, and do the right thing.
Here, absolutely. Well, you're kicking ass with it, and I'm proud to back all of your projects. Like I said, you guys have been an inspiration to me. I love having you guys on, and you ladies, of course. And I really look forward to this every Thursday night.
Yeah, man.
The Bros.
The Bros is fun.
This is a lot of fun.
He has a pep in his step all day on Thursday.
Yep. I run around with singing. What's the song from Wally from Hello Dolly? Put on your Sunday clothes. There's lots of world out there. I'm gonna sing that tomorrow morning.
Hey, can I make an announcement? I just checked my phone. I got a message. I've got another artist on board. Tales. Andy Kuhn.
Awesome. He's great.
He is awesome, and he's going to be illustrating a Bo Smith, Tim Rozon story.
That's K-U-H-N, right?
Yeah, K-U-H-N.
Yeah.
If
For those of you who don't know his work, look him up.
Yeah, look him up. Very versatile and just an incredible storyteller.
Yeah.
But how'd you get Andy on the project?
I Hey, who's going to say no to me? I'm a lovable guy.
So, Pam, we have we know Art's told his story that, he kind of, he's worked mainstream, worked for Image Comics. Then he came out with Black and White, which was a phenomenal independent hit. And then he decided to walk away from his own creator-owned work to work for the machine, for the man. No, I'm just making it. No, he's had a very, very successful career. I mean, he's worked on some of the most iconic books and characters in comics. But now he's left that as well, either by his own choice or by someone else's choice. But now he's working on his own creator-owned work. He's brought back Chrono Mechanics. He's brought back, he's created Chrono Mechanics. He's brought back Black and White. How is it with him now that you guys are kind of, he's not going off to work, going into the city or working at other studios. He's at home 24/7 with you guys out there in Texas. What's it like working with this self-publisher, this creative monster that he is?
He's pretty much always had a studio at home, and he would, especially when Amanda was first born, when she was a few months old, he loved being at home with her and watching her grow. So it's just usual, but he is much happier doing his own. When we came up with Black and White, and then especially Chrono Mechanics, he loved the humor in Chrono Mechanics, and he loved the whole thing that he felt it was for his dad, because his dad was a knuckle buster, fixing the naval ships at Long Beach. And he said, nobody cares about the Maytag repairman. And that's how he came up with Chrono Mechanics. And Black and White, I'm sure he's told you, we went to a Bruce Lee auction. And he's so much happier.
Yeah, we went to a Bruce Lee auction estate to get some Green Hornet stuff. And it soon went out of my price range. And then I remember turning to Pamela, and it was it was like 1,000, 2,000 more than we had thought it would be. And she just goes, "You can still have it. You can get it." And I was like, "Well, since you're so cool, I can't do it. I can't bid on this thing." And so, but when we were driving home, I said Rob Liefeld had mentioned us or me doing a project for him. So since Green Hornet was already on our minds, and it was a long drive, we pretty much came up with Black and White on the drive home.
Oh,
so
cool.
pretty much the whole concept was there. Yeah.
Well, you are my friend. What a gorgeous page. Not just the book itself. I mean, the book is gorgeous, but it's a really professional page. It looks great, dude.
Yeah, it's a great looking campaign.
Can Rocafort cover?
And Art is so close to six figures, young lady. What is he? Not even $631 away.
Yeah.
We gotta push him over here, gang.
Sure, Graham. Show off with your math skills. I would have got there eventually.
I was going to compliment you being the math teacher that I am.
You know what? Push me way over the edge. That's what I like.
Well, we'll return to that, and hopefully we'll have passed that this evening.
Yeah, but I cannot do any of this without her. I mean, everything I do, I pitch to her first. If she's kind of along for the ride, she gives me, even if it's just like one of these, then I know it's a go. Because it's not always like, yeah, do it. It's not always enthusiastic. Sometimes it's like, go ahead. But as long as I get that, I know I'm going in the right direction. Because sometimes she'll just like, no, it's not going to work. And there's been a couple of those kind of business ventures that I've pitched to her.
Fights. No,
the two-fisted thing. Yeah. We've lived it, Nolan's.
Yeah, see, we've never done that. We've never. Had
of course not.
Arguments. So.
Look at her face.
But you know what? It is kind of an interesting dynamic when you're in a relationship together, but you're also like business partners.
Yeah.
So it does get interesting at times. But the thing is, as long as there's a mutual respect, I mean, there's knockdown dragouts, don't get me wrong, but as long as there's mutual respect, we always weather it and get through it. And we always say it's not personal. It's like the best ideas rise to the top. So sometimes it gets debated to death, but the good ideas can sustain an argument. So that's what we usually do. But to get to that point sometimes, that's another story for another.
Hey guys, I'm sorry, we have to cut out. We got to go tuck in the little ones.
All right, dude.
The other two.
It was nice meeting you.
Yeah.
Nice meeting you,
Briana.
Thank you.
Yeah. I've met Helen before. That's the only wife, and Helen and Deb, but and Pam. Well, everybody except for Shelley and Julie. So we got to rectify that. Rectify that. These stories are awesome and inspiring.
Dan, are you going to MegaCon?
When is that?
In May.
Yeah.
May when? May what?
I'm not sure.
Like
20 something?
Or
Isn't it Memorial Day?
Might be Memorial Day weekend.
Oh no, I've got there's a guy named Commander Mark Kistler who did a show in the 80s called Secret City. He was kind of like the Bob Ross of teaching kids how to draw.
Mm-hmm.
And I learned a lot from him as a kid, and he and I became friends a few years ago, and they're making a documentary about his life. And they asked me to be part of the documentary, but I got to fly out to that, and it happens to be that weekend.
Oh, okay. It's the 19th of May.
This is the 27th or 28th.
Well, then you can do both.
Oh.
Possibly. That's Orlando, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We'll see.
We should see
well, you guys
can try to come. I know Andy's going, right?
No, I don't know. No.
I thought you were going to MegaCon.
All right, I'll see you guys. I gotta go.
Okay.
All right, dude, guys.
Love you guys. See you, chat.
See you
guys
later.
Be good. Bye-bye.
All right, now, and we all love the Fragas, and she's adorable, huh? Look at her. So, okay, now, Aaron and Shelley, same question. Shelley, and do you work with Aaron at all? With Empire Comics, or do you just let him take over everything? And can he do math and crunch all the numbers and all?
He's constantly did some figuring, but
She's good with your figure.
Hey.
No. Such a dad joke.
Give me a thing, Billy.
Shelley is slowly taking over the merchandising end of this and trying to get extra stuff put together for the campaigns and future campaigns and stuff. Maybe we'd sell on an eBay store while I'm frantically trying to finish the book. So yeah, she's helping out where she can. And of course, as someone in the chat said, she's the the PR division of or HR. What was it? Division of Empire Comics.
Yeah.
Because she's on social media.
Social media arm of Empire Comics.
Yeah.
So.
She's the SmackDown.
Yeah.
Empire Comics. She's
Photoshop Shelley's face on the Notre Dame guy.
Yeah,
that should be your logo, you know, like your Twitter handle.
Yeah,
that would be awesome.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
You're like the honey badger.
I'm something. My first con, like jump in the deep end, was San Diego.
That's
we
not true, is it? Because your very first con was a Portland show where you met Sergio Aragones. Then we went to San Diego and you re-met all these people that you'd.
I had never been to something like that big.
No.
And I had never seen that much cash.
Oh.
So and I had never been in a hotel where there was a phone in the bathroom. I'm like, how important must you be if you got to take a phone call on the Twitter? And so I was like, what is this? And I'm jumping up and down on the bed and I'm throwing the money up. Oh my gosh.
I want to preface this by saying it was $800.
Yeah. Little girl, I was like, oh my God. I'd never seen that much cash before. And especially too, that we drove down from Portland, slept in the car. And I was like, we got money. In fact, we got in a big fight on the way home because I was like, I don't care if it's Motel 6, we're getting a room. If you plan on marrying me, we're getting a room. I'm not sleeping in my car. Yeah. But
and Aaron, you're cheap, so you wanted to sleep in the car. You're like, let's save that $60.
Well, okay.
Hotel.
I'm cheap, but we made I don't know, maybe like I said, that Saturday I made $800 that Saturday, right? And that's what she was throwing up.
I was just like
throwing it up in the air, going, "We're rich, we're rich." And I'm like, Shelley, those are 5s and 1s. It's $800, you know. But
I didn't care.
So
oh
we, maybe for the entire show, I made like $1,200 or something, you know. So it wasn't like a ton of money. It's like I'm not going to go blow it in a hotel when we can sleep in the rest stop. Gosh darn it!
Never again.
Never. I can save that money for Swamp Thing #1, graded and slapped.
That's right.
Yeah, but I remember
saving that money for a comic book, not to put you in a hotel room.
Woman.
Aaron's got his priorities.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Did you guys go to
nice? Hey, we stayed in a nice hotel.
Stayed
We were
in
in
the
San
Doubletree.
Diego. So
Yeah,
Did you go on a date to the Spaghetti Factory?
No. Where did we
the
go?
Spaghetti Factory was right there, right down by the train track.
We could never get into the Spaghetti Factory. There's always a line a mile long.
Yeah.
Is that the one in the gas lamp in San Diego?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right on the.
Yeah. Oh yeah, on that corner.
Yeah, it was always busy. We always ate around the fringe.
Yeah. Aaron,
You always
we
ate
went-
at Dick's.
I
Last
don't know if
resort.
you guys have eaten at the Spaghetti Factory. We ate once, and it was awful. It was horrible.
Not a
Again, probably because it was Comic-Con, and you know, any of your favorite restaurants, if there's an event, are obviously never up to par. But it was my birthday too.
That's right.
But I just remember, like, it was.
And
a
I was
whole
hungover. It was like a
different world.
trifecta of misery.
Let's go to Spaghetti Factory. That's the in place because we didn't know anybody.
But you know, we're from New York.
Yeah.
The best Italian food in the world is in this state, and you're
Yeah.
taking me to the Spaghetti Factory. I'm like, which is
California
noodles and
overcooked
ketchup. And I'm hungover. It just was miserable.
Yeah.
Happy birthday to Deborah.
It was up there with among the worst birthdays. Let's just leave it at that.
Oh, the food was bad, but we had a good time.
Let's just.
You were
Yeah.
so
Yeah, if you say so, Billy. Yeah. That's
I
right.
was hungover. I
I
just wanted
spent
to
many,
cry.
many birthdays at San Diego. Yeah. They've all been good though.
You got on TV. See, it's not bad, kid.
Oh, you good time. I got you on TV.
Just what I wanted to
Just
do.
what you and then I
Talking about boobs on San Diego for all of history.
But how is Aaron now that he's done? Because he's worked on so many iconic characters for so long, so many companies. I know you worked at DC CrossGen. Did you work Marvel too?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
4 or 5
Dark
years.
Horse and Valiant and just about everybody.
Valiant, and now he's home all the time,
Mm-hmm.
working on his own stuff. So how is that working out? I mean, the campaign is a monster. Let me share that because well done, Aaron. Holy cow!
And his first one, we've learned a lot. I mean, it's really nice to see him excited again to draw, and it's not like the soul-sucking, soul-crushing event that that he's been doing before. But yeah, it's nice to see him re-engaged and excited about what he's drawing. He gets a little stressed because
Aaron.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Well, that sort of built-in, that you've had for your entire career of meeting deadlines, and even if they're self-imposed deadlines, you're still like, I gotta, I gotta get this done when I said I'd get it done, kind of thing. And so there's that pressure. But it was really, I don't know, just the other day I sort of had this epiphany. As I was writing, one of the stretch goals on this is like a bullpen bulletin page where you kind of, the wives will be going, what is he talking about? But you guys know that Marvel used to have in the back of the 70s books where they'd have like previews of all the books that were coming out and then little, tidbits about whatever and Stan's soapbox. And so I was doing that page as a stretch goal for my book and basically writing in all these little paragraphs of these different series, right? That were supposedly coming out this month, right? Along with it. So you could get your checklist of all the Empire Comics books coming out this month. And of course there's just this one, but I've got all these other ones and ideas in development. And as I was typing this page up, I was went over to Shelley and I go, I can't believe how excited I am to do these because this is like so much fun. I'm like,
that's a cool one. Oh, and that's a cool one. Yeah. He's so excited. Like, oh, and he goes, I know this is dumb.
I did say that.
But and I just think it's really fun to watch him be so excited about what he's doing and what's coming up. And I mean, he's worked at home for a long, long time. But it's nice that he's more excited than he's been in a long, long time about working. So I used to say if he's not working, he's thinking about working, which is still true, except now it makes him happy. So
I'm working on my own stuff.
That's a good one. And it's just really fun. And to get to actually, I feel like part of the team now versus, did you get paid? Great. Okay. So it's really fun.
Now, was it your idea, Shelley, to get Aaron to do this racy variant cover with her showing the knee?
Nope. Yeah, the race with the knee. No, I mean,
in church, huh? Now it all makes sense now, Aaron.
No. Aaron told us that's what you wore at the church when he met you.
Oh, right.
High collar, padded shoulders.
Yeah.
It's a classic look.
Yeah, really.
She's never been sort of like, I don't know if threatened's the right word, but ever bothered by, me drawing attractive women in my comics because she understands the market,
Right. And I would say that, it's been altered for viewing pleasure.
Yeah.
And so, I just am like, oh, tighter, draw that tighter. No. But
bigger, Aaron. Come on.
Boobs aren't big enough. What are you doing?
Shelley said, I like your old stuff better.
No.
You've gone downhill since this parchment paper portrait, pal.
Oh, I know.
But it's just so much fun, and we are so just overwhelmed and blessed by how well the campaign is done.
Yeah.
I
mean, you guys are so close to $125,000.
Yeah.
I mean, incredible, monster campaign.
Thank you.
Please, guys, support this campaign. If you can't support it, if you already have, then share it on your social media out here because these are all great families, great couples. And
we'll be adding merchandise here coming up too. So
perfect.
We're excited about
those.
those.
We're all looking forward to that. We love following your tweets, Shelley.
Oh, I'm sure you do.
Oh, yeah.
You're a fireball on Twitter.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, and thanks, Geek Avenger. Yeah, so we do Aaron live on Sunday evenings. So, and that's been fun too, trying to doing that with him. And It took him a while to talk me into it, but
Now I can't get her off the air.
now I'm taking over.
Oh no, you guys have a great
no, it's been fun doing the show together.
repertoire. Not a repertoire. Rapport, right?
Rapport.
Yeah.
A great rapport.
Oh, thanks.
Speaking of great rapports, Andy and Helen, the first couple of comics. So same thing for you, Helen. Knowing that your husband, that he was working on all these big mainstream books, and now he's cast it all aside, threw caution to the wind, jumping out and doing. Now, is this your second crowdfunding campaign, Andy?
Yeah, for First Man. There were a couple smaller ones before it for other things, but yeah.
So tell us about your adventures in comics, Helen, with Andy.
Well, Andy has his office above our garage. I work inside, so I really don't see him during the day. I get working out wonderful.
When we came up here tonight, I said it's been about a month since you've been up here. So there's nothing. There's a huge closet back here that she'll give me stuff and be like, put that back in that closet. And I joke with my buddy Dennis. I'm like, in fact, I told him this yesterday. She had more stuff for me to put back there, and I go, she literally thinks it's like the negative zone, that is just this closet that you can just keep putting stuff in, and it never fills up until summertime when she finally comes up and we do the once a year cleaning, and she opens it. And she's like, what a mess. And I'm like, you keep giving me stuff to put here.
I know he could have somebody buried back there. I probably wouldn't even know because I don't go back there very much. So.
I was gonna say, when Helen comes up there, she's like, "What's that smell?" And you're like, "That's man."
There's a lot of stuff up here that.
Yeah, before the stream
Kinda
started,
gives
she's
me,
like, it's a mess up here.
Yeah. I like everything in neat and order, and there's just lots of things.
Well,
up
it
here,
looks fantastic on camera. I mean, my goodness.
See this place.
Look at that. Look at those.
You don't see over there and over there, and in front of here. So it's an organized mess. It's organized. I know.
I'm the same way. That's why my camera points this way, because this place is like a bomb hit it.
Yeah,
but we'll clean it. When I'm done with this book.
It's an organized mess.
He says that.
Why don't these women get together and clean our studio?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I don't even clean the rest of the house.
I'll be honest. I don't want
balls
anybody up here touching anything.
If I move something in this chaos,
I'll
he'll come
know
up and move it back, and I'm like, how can you even see it? No.
Yep.
But we know where it's at, Helen. We know exactly where we left that pencil.
That's right. That's right. So, okay, so you have a new campaign here going on with First Man Learning Curve, First Man 2, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Part two.
So, man, we got to get this to 45. Come on.
I know.
My goodness. Well,
I've got 2 pages left of the story stuff to draw, and then I've just got to do some bio pages, and it's a wrap.
Oh, nice. So when do you think you'll fulfill? April, May?
It should be May, like it says. So I'm pretty much on track. So my colorist is pretty much right behind me. Probably not as close as Gabe is to Aaron, but she's on my heels. So
man, this book looks great, dude.
Yeah, I love that panel.
Who's lettering it?
Who's the what?
Lettering it.
Steve Dutro. He's the guy I went to the Kubert school with. He's been lettering since he graduated. Basically, he's worked for everybody. So
nice. Gorgeous. So Helen, have you seen a change in Andy at all, that he's that he's working on his own book, like his own creator-owned projects, as opposed to working for Marvel or DC? And how's things with him? Is he all right? Is he handling this okay?
I had hair when I started.
He definitely wants to get up in the morning and come up here. So, he wants to get it done, and he gets very excited when, he gets something back in the morning or whatever and comes back up here. So I think working for, himself or whatever is definitely kind of made him a little bit happier, I think. So it's his deadline. It's not somebody else's deadline. So he can make sure that he knows what he needs to get done. So.
Oh, there you go.
And
thank you,
thank
Troy
you.
Aldenton. Back to
Yeah,
everyone's
thanks,
books on this stream tonight within the first 3 minutes of each of their launches. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Because
Very much.
we wouldn't be anything without you guys.
That's for sure.
And you know what I find interesting, if you saw somebody posted something, I don't know, a CBR writer or something, that we're not successful because we're not selling through comic shops or something like that, that we're selling directly to the fans. And it's crazy how, you know, these writers, you know, comic press people, that they, again, same thing, they throw themselves behind these major corporations, and they kind of, and they look down upon us, or they laugh at us or something like that, or don't take us seriously enough, or we're not making real comics because we're selling directly to the fans.
Right.
What's
Which
up
is
with
way
that?
more
That's the whole
fun.
thing.
It's also ridiculous because we've all done that. We've all made comic books, and they've all been sold in retail outlets and things like that. This is just something different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't think one is necessarily better than the other. It's just different.
Yeah.
We find it's more meaningful now. Feel like we have, you know, so many more friends, and you get instant feedback. And, you know, I would ask, what do you guys want as far as merchandise? And
What about the accountability now, where you know, when our men are
Yes, we are men.
Yes, you are working for a large comic publisher. They're really only beholden to one person, and that's their editor. But now we're beholden to the people who are actually doing the purchasing on the other end, and that direct line of communication is invaluable. It really is.
Yep.
I like it so much more because, you know, I mean, it's easy, right? They back your book, you know, they like it, and that's it. You know what I mean?
And whatever they don't like, they can tell you about on the comments board, so you can change it.
Right. There's no editorial nonsense and like, you know, personal, because sometimes it comes down to personalities when you work with people,
Absolutely.
you know, and
Too
things
many
like that.
times it comes down to personalities.
Yeah. And this feels more honest. It's direct to the consumer. You know, they speak, we listen, you know, and that's it, you know.
There's no barriers now between your customers and you. You know,
exactly.
All of those middlemen are cut out, and you have a direct line, and they have a direct line to you. You know, it's not like, you know, when we're working for Marvel and DC Comics, they could contact us and tell us, you know, how much they like our stuff or how much they didn't like our stuff. You know, that all went to the editors, and they never told you anything. And now we get direct communication, and it's wonderful because these folks, you know, show up in the chats on these shows, and you know, they tell you how much, I read your book and I really enjoyed it. And, you know, it's like, thank you so much. You know, really, I love that interpersonal relationship.
Yep.
And what also, as Debbie had said, that, and they hold you accountable. So we're throwing, you know, we're risking way more than, say, someone who's worked, like I said, than when we were working for Marvel or DC or some of the bigger companies, because we have to, you know, we can be all show and no go, and we will fail and burn out.
Yep.
You know, but the more success you have, the more books you put out, the more that you're attentive to your customers, that when they ask a question on a message board, or if they ask a question on your comment section of your campaigns, or on Twitter, Facebook, etc., you got to be there to answer them. And we do.
Yeah.
Especially when you're on fulfillment, you know, that's where Pamela really shines, because she handles most of the fulfillment. And I'll tell you, everybody that asks a question, she gets back in a timely fashion. If something's destroyed, all we ask is a photo just to prove it. We usually never debate it. You know, we'll just you know, return it, or, you know, we'll replace it. You know, it's just I don't know. It's a lot more work, but I find it actually way more. I get more satisfaction.
Well, and that's the thing, that those guys like CBR and some of the guys that we know that like to talk crap, that still work for Marvel and DC, they don't know how much more work it is.
Yeah, they have no idea.
They have no idea.
I think they have an inkling, and that's why they're afraid to do it.
Yeah, they know. Yeah.
They certainly don't honor it. You know what I mean? Like that's one thing that he's like, oh my gosh, there's so much more, and we're learning something new every day.
Yeah.
That we need to know what to do next time or whatever. But to not acknowledge it or honor it, it's frustrating because, they might do their 2 pages a month or whatever. But yeah.
My favorite thing out of this for all of us is that, when we first started our Twitter, we were all kind of like, and now like our personalities are getting bigger. You know what I mean? We're getting confidence. We're hanging out with people. And we're actually putting on a fairly decent show, I think, for people.
Heck yes, we are. And look at Frazetta Girls, and they're launching with the new Death Dealer series.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. Like you said, you have so many in the comic press are against independent creators. They just will do anything because they just, let's face it, they got into because they're comic fans. They love Marvel. They love DC. Hey, we love Marvel and DC characters. We do, but those corporations treat their creators like shit. They really do. You're nothing more than a commodity to them and how they deem you useful or not. And like I said, the infamous pencil down order from 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sorry, the comic shops are going to close for 2 weeks. Guess what? We're multi-billion-dollar corporations, publicly traded corporations, but we can't afford to pay you. Colorists, you're $70 a page to color our books.
Yeah.
So
your month to month payment, like we're all hand to mouth kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so, you guys can suck it up for 2 months, 3 months, right?
Yeah.
No, some people will destroy them.
Oh yeah.
But the editors got paid.
Of course.
That's true.
They're on staff.
And now they have
the same thing when they tell when they tell a freelancer, oh yeah, we have different rates now. Your new rate's lower, and you go, is your salary lower, Mr. Editor?
Oh, good. Yeah.
No, of
well,
course.
I'm gonna draw you to the quality of the rate you're paying me. So you
Yeah,
just
there you
lower
go.
my rate? Yeah. Okay, no
I know
background.
Debbie always said that to me to do that, and
For years
and that's why I think I'm such a good fit for the indie comic scene is because I came in doing that. It was all mine, and then when I worked for Marvel and DC, I got into the mindset that these characters are so important to me because I love them that I want to overwork it, And she's like, stop. She's
by the time the editor sends it to the colorist, at least 60% of the details gone.
Yeah,
because hours of work that you didn't get paid for to begin with that now nobody's seeing.
Yeah. Well, Art's smart because Art went to him and said, listen, if you raise my rate, I'll do better work. Because he goes, I'm only right. What'd you say, Art? You said I'm only doing the work for what you're paying me for.
Yeah, no, what I said is, because I asked for a raise, they said no, and I said, well, I'm holding back, right? And they're like, no. And I said, there's so much more I could offer you guys. I said, there's ideas, things like that I've never done. And they said, why? I said, because I'm not going to just give it to you. I said, I'm being honest right now. I haven't gotten a raise in 2 years. Can I get a raise? And then I told them how much I wanted, and they shook their head no, and then they compromised. But they not only gave me my raise, but they also paid for my scanner and all my my equipment to do the blue line and all that other stuff, because I also negotiated that because they wanted me to pay for that out of my pocket. And I said, who's it going to benefit? It's not going to benefit me. It's more work that I'll have to do.
Right.
It benefits you guys. So you guys are going to save money in Federal Express and all that other stuff. So the least you could do is compensate me for this equipment. And they did.
Well, and now we
very impressive. Yep. Very impressive, Art.
Yeah, that's balls. I wouldn't have I didn't have the guts to do it. I
never have thought of it. And I didn't. So
I think I already had my sights set on independent stuff. So I think I was kind of just at that point where, I'm just going to lay it on the line. I've never really talked this way before, but my heart's not really in it that much. And so let's just see what happens, Yeah.
Well, it's funny. Once you start working on your own stuff and not just treating it like a job, but these are things that in some cases these are characters or ideas we've had since our youth, right? And you're finally getting to do something with them, and it's kind of like you sit there and you go, I have no desire to go draw the Hulk anymore, you know, because I've got this I want to do, and I want to do that, and then I want to do this after that. You know what I mean? And it's like, it means so much more than just, you know, getting to draw a character. You get paid for it, and then you move on, and someone else takes over, and you know, it's off to the next thing that you don't own, you don't have any real vested interest in, other than, you know, it's how we made a living.
It's just a paycheck. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And those characters that we love, that we used to draw, don't exist anymore.
No,
that's true. Yeah.
You can't recognize the way they look or the way they behave. So it's like, you know, it's a perfect divorce because
the love
really
is gone.
I mean, it really is. People ask me, and I'm like, you know, I guess I got in, and you know, I got in '91, and I got to draw the iterations of the characters that I grew up with, and they're not that iteration anymore. So I don't have an interest in them.
Yeah, I don't either. I'm the same way.
I just don't have an interest in those characters anymore.
Agreed.
Oh,
I'm the
you
same
don't want
way.
to be a Superman?
Well, you know,
Maybe if they give you a raise.
maybe him. Maybe I'll make an exception for gay Superman. Oh my God, he's so hot.
Ooga.
Where's Paul Lynn when we need him?
I know.
Got the eye roll. Got the eye roll.
Scarf.
Which is her bathrobes belt. I don't know if you know you're missing your bathrobe.
I could have gone all day without.
No, it's the white one. I think that's
I'm
your
sorry,
wedding one.
folks. I set them up.
Anyway, guys,
Billy's
I want to
breaking
thank
the
everyone
illusion.
out here for joining us. Ladies, I apologize for lying to you. I really had the best intentions. I thought
Not at all surprised.
I thought we would go for a half hour with you
Never
ladies.
was a chance.
And
Never a chance.
on his private chats.
Well, I want to say the reason Pamela had to go is our daughter's getting some medical procedures today, and so she just got out and she was calling us. So that's why she had to take the call.
Everything prayers for her then.
Yes.
Yes,
Is
please.
everything okay?
Yeah, she's okay. We talked to her after the procedure earlier, but you know, they're your kids, so you check in constantly. You want to make sure.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you guys for joining us. Everyone, this was a great Brofessionals. And with you ladies, really made this show. We love you guys, especially, you know, the Peaky Blinders up in the top right-hand corner. We're about to go murder some people over some whiskey, I guess. But no, but seriously, guys, Julie, it was so great to have you on. Art, please tell Pam, thank you so much for joining us. Helen, it was great seeing you again. It's been a long time, like 2 years, or I guess 3 years, when I was down in South Carolina at the show, at the store, at Rob's store. And just love you guys. You guys are all an inspiration. You women are an inspiration. Thank you.
And thank you to Briana, too.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love her little romantic.
Yeah, what a great story. Oh, my God.
Yeah. The coffee thing, I never heard that before.
Neither did I. Yeah.
And then the Fraga run, I can't even do it as weird as he did. Yeah.
Can you see him putting his coffee down and then?
Oh yeah.
What is it, like a jog walk? Those jog walkers?
Yeah.
Yep.
Back when he had that vanilla ice look.
Yeah.
No.
Well, guys, so next week was supposed to be Graham's day, but I guess we're pushing that back another week, right? Because tomorrow is next Thursday is the high
Dan is next.
Oh
yeah, Dan's next.
Yeah, Dan would be next. But yeah, next week is St. Patrick's Day, and I'm out.
Yeah.
Literally, we'll figure it out. I mean, we could always
Savage and Guinness and whiskey and yeah.
We'll talk about it.
Yeah, I'll
figure
tell
it out.
The men are planning it. Don't you worry.
The men are planning what I'm going to be having to do for 3 days. Is that
No, it's going to be very small. Either they, you know, so. I'm Irish now. You married an Irishman. You're going to have to
look at him.
Just found out last year.
Yeah.
There was no Irish when I
He's
met
the
you.
most Irish person I've ever met in the last year.
Stevens was my grandmother's name.
We're an oppressed people.
I'm Irish and proud.
But before we go, everybody go to Fisted Manly Tales.
Yes.
Tonight is
tonight.
the last night for the
let's
live
share that. Hang on.
part of the campaign. Buy a book, punch somebody out.
Jason Brass Knuckles is coming down tomorrow. This is the last chances to get it. The Brass Knuckles trophy perk.
Oh, you went up.
Whoa, look at that.
There you
Got
go.
some new ones.
All right, so let's get this. Come on, guys. 95K.
Backers. Yeah.
Yeah.
6 figures, young lady. We can do it.
Yes, we can do it. So thank you all for joining us. Again, I'm sorry we went way over. I did not mean to do that, but this was so much fun.
He never does, but
Thank
he
you.
always
No, it was totally
He
fun.
never does, but he always does. I love that.
Nice
And,
meeting you.
We'll see you guys all.
Good
not
seeing
next
everybody
week,
later.
but the weekend after that, the
Bye.
Rose will be back on Dan Fraga's show, and let's open up April. What's that?
Booyah.
With this one?
Uh-huh.
Billy is going to be hit with another shoe. Oh, I told you. It was like, all right, guys. Thank you all for joining us. And we'll see you all soon. Ladies, again, thank you so much. You guys are truly the best.
Pleasure to meet all of you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye,
Great
guys.
seeing everybody.
Shelley, and real quick, Shelley, you go to San Diego Comic-Con?
Probably not.
Oh.
But I don't know. We'll have to see. Depending on like the whole restrictions and all that kind of stuff too. So
All right. Aaron, you're going, right?
Depends. I'm
All right,
scheduled, but I haven't committed 100% yet.
Okay. Well, if you do, Saturday night, you're hanging with the men.
Okay.
I still
You're the
remember.
men's guy.
Remember that a couple years ago, Aaron, where we had the big CG conversation at San Diego Comic-Con?
and look at us now.
Yeah, that was cool, man. Yeah,
All right.
you were like, so what's it all about?
All right, well, thank you, guys. We're all going to go. We all got to eat. We haven't eaten dinner.
Take care. Have a good night.
Last night.
All right.
Bye.
10th time. See ya.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Hey everyone, thank you for joining us on Pop XP. If you haven't already, make sure to click that subscribe button and also click the bell for notifications when we go live and we upload some awesome new content. Also, don't forget to head on over to Twitter and follow us at the Pop XP and over on Instagram at the Pop XP. Thanks again everyone, and we'll see you soon.